They just wanted to help Mom, but he turned it into a miracle. It was the kind of cold that cracks your lips just from breathing. Lincoln Park was nearly empty, just a few joggers and overpriced gear and a dog walker yelling at a Labrador to stop eating snow. But Eli and Noah were standing by a bench near the fountain, clutching a battered plastic toy car between them like it was the most precious thing they owned. Because, right now, it was. Do you think someone's actually gonna buy it? Noah asked, his gloved fingers gripping the side of the box they had taped shut. Maybe, Eli said, not looking at his younger brother. We just need one person. That's it. It doesn't even work anymore. It still looks cool. And it's got stickers. People don't buy stickers. People buy weird stuff, Noah. Just let me do the talking, all right? Noah nodded. He was 9. Eli was 12. And neither of them should have been out here alone, let alone trying to sell a toy car for $20 in the middle of January. But when your mom needs insulin and the fridge holds more cold air than food, you figure things out. They'd set up a piece of cardboard that said, Toy CAR $20 or best offer for our mom's medicine handwritten. No decoration. Just truth. Most people ignored it. A few glanced, then turned away awkwardly. One man muttered something about lazy parenting as he passed. Noah blinked hard, holding in tears. Don't listen to them, Eli said quickly. They don't know anything. Do you think she'll be okay without it tonight? I don't know. Before we go further, don't forget to like this story, hit subscribe, and tap the bell so you don't miss what happens next. They fell silent. Then footsteps approached. Heavy ones. Slow, but intentional. A man in a dark wool coat and leather gloves stopped in front of them. Late 40s. Silver in his beard. Tall. Serious. He looked at the cardboard sign, then at the boys, then at the car, then back at them. Where's your mom? Eli stepped in front of his brother instinctively. Home. Alone. She's resting. Does she know you're out here? We're just trying to help. The man didn't respond right away. He looked at the taped-up box, then bent down slightly, meeting Eli's eyes. How much are you asking? 20. It used to be remote-controlled. Does it still work? Not really. The man smiled. Just a little. And you think someone will buy it? Eli nodded. We just need enough for medicine. There was something about the way he said it. No begging. No tears. Just conviction. And that hit the man harder than any pity ever could. What's your name? The man asked. Eli. This is my brother Noah. I'm Grant. Okay. Grant looked down again, then back at them. How much is the medicine? Eli hesitated. $86.99 at the pharmacy. You're sure? Yeah. Okay. Grant reached into his coat and pulled out a leather wallet, then a checkbook. He clicked a pen and wrote. Here, he said, tearing it off and handing it to Eli. That's for the medicine, plus a little extra for groceries. Eli stared at the piece of paper in his gloved hand. It said, $500 pay to the order of Eli Carter. Why are you doing this? Eli whispered. Because someone helped me once, Grant said. And I didn't deserve it either. He stood up. Take care of your mom. Then turned and walked away. Noah's mouth dropped open. Is this real? I think so. What do we do now? Eli looked at the check, then at his brother. We go home. They ran. Literally sprinted through the park, boots slipping on the snow, coat flapping open, holding the check like it might fly away. They burst through the apartment door 2 floors above the liquor store, panting, cheeks red. Their mom, Monica, was on the couch. Pale, tired, confused. What's going on? Mom, Eli said, holding up the check. We sold the car. Sort of. A man gave us this. She sat up, eyes wide. Who? His name was Grant. He said someone helped him once. She took the check. Her hands were shaking. Oh my God. Can we get your medicine now? She looked at them, both of them, and smiled for the first time in days. Yes, baby. We can. Later that night, when the boys were asleep, Monica sat alone on the couch staring at the check. On the back, Grant had written a phone number. Nothing else. No message. No instruction. Just a line, waiting to be crossed. Monica Carter didn't trust miracles. Not because she was cynical, but because the last 10 years of her life had trained her to expect disappointment from anything that looked too good, too fast, too clean. And that check, lying quietly on the edge of the kitchen table, where her son had dropped it after bolting into the apartment with frozen hands and red cheeks, felt exactly like that. Too good, too fast, too clean. She stared at it for hours. It was still there at 2 a.m., when the boys were sound asleep in the bedroom and the heater made its low mechanical wheezing sound, fighting hard against the Chicago cold that slipped through every cracked window and ancient wall. She'd wrapped herself in 2 sweatshirts and a fleece blanket, but the shivers didn't stop. Maybe they were physical, Maybe not. She kept rereading the name in the corner of the check. Grant. Just Grant. No last name. No company name. Just a handwritten number on the back. And that check. $500. The kind of number that solves a real problem, not just buys a little time. Who are you? She whispered into the dark. No answer. Only the groan of pipes in the wall and the soft breathing of her children down the hall. At 8:42 a.m., she walked into Walgreens. She hadn't told the boys where she was going. She didn't want to give them hope just in case the check bounced, or the pharmacy said no, or somehow this whole thing ended up being some cruel joke. She held the paper out to the cashier with shaky hands. Can I cash this? The clerk glanced at it, then back at her. He was young, probably college age, and had the tired eyes of someone who'd seen too many overdrafts and fake bills at the counter. He typed, paused, then nodded. Yep. You want it all? Yes. All of it. Cash. It felt unreal. But she didn't let herself feel joy yet. Not until that insulin was in the bag, paid for. Not until it was in her hand and she could breathe again. She picked up eggs. Real ones. Milk, not powdered. Bread that wasn't on clearance. A pack of fresh oranges, which felt like luxury. And bacon. She'd promised herself long ago that the day she could afford real bacon again would be the day things started to change. She paid in full. Didn't ask for a discount. Didn't hold her breath at the register. Just paid. When she got home, the apartment still smelled like dust and radiator heat. Eli and Noah were watching cartoons, and they looked up with wide eyes when she dropped the grocery bags on the counter. Is that bacon? Noah asked, like she'd brought home treasure. And eggs. Eli shouted. And juice. You made it work, didn't you? Noah asked. I did, Monica said softly, her throat tight. Because of that man? She nodded. Because of Grant. Later that afternoon, after the boys had gone outside to shovel snow for their neighbor in exchange for a few dollars, Monica sat alone in the kitchen. The check was gone, cashed and used, but the number written on the back burned in her mind like a match pressed against skin. She turned her old flip phone over in her hands again and again. She didn't want to call. She didn't want to open herself to whatever came next. But she also knew one truth that terrified her. People like that don't do things for free. She dialed. 1 ring. 2. Grant. His voice was calm. Smooth. Controlled. The kind of voice you only hear in courtrooms or boardrooms or therapy sessions. It's Monica, she said. Eli and Noah's mom. Silence. Then, I hoped you'd call. That knocked the air out of her. Why? Because I meant it when I said I wanted to help. You already did. The check. That was more than enough. That wasn't help. That was a response. To what? To 2 kids standing in the cold trying to fix something no child should have to fix. His words were simple, but they felt deliberate. I don't want to owe anyone anything, Monica said firmly. You don't. Then why keep offering? Because I've been where your sons are. I know what it feels like to stand in front of the world and feel invisible until someone finally looks you in the eye. You make it sound noble. No, I'm not noble. I just remember. She didn't know what to say, so she said nothing. Eventually, Grant continued. I'd like to meet with you. Nothing formal. Just a coffee. A conversation. What's the point? Maybe nothing. Maybe something. But it's your call. I don't trust easily. Good. Neither do I. They made plans to meet the next afternoon at a cafe near her apartment. Just a public place. Nothing private. Nothing dramatic. She hung up, and then immediately wanted to cancel. That night, the boys helped her cook. She made actual pasta, not boxed noodles with ketchup, and the 3 of them sat on the floor because their table only had 2 working chairs. But it felt like a celebration. Do you think we'll see him again? Eli asked. Maybe, Monica said. He seemed like a good guy, Noah added. She didn't answer that part, because she didn't know yet. She wanted to believe it. But good people didn't just show up with checkbooks and quiet generosity. Did they? After the boys were asleep, Monica went online. She used an old laptop that barely worked and borrowed Wi-Fi from a neighbor's unsecured network. She typed Grant Devereaux Chicago, and there he was. CEO, investor, public speaker, net worth in the hundreds of millions. Pictures of him with celebrities, foundations, a TED Talk. But then she saw the headline that stopped her heart. Jason Devereaux, son of Chicago financier, dies at age 8. Monica stared at the screen. Suddenly, she understood. He didn't stop for her kids because he was kind. He stopped because they looked like a ghost he couldn't forget. And now, she had a decision to make. Accept help from a man whose reasons were rooted in grief? Or slam the door and stay proud and broke? The coffee shop smelled like burnt espresso and cinnamon syrup. It was one of those up-and-coming places in Lincoln Square, reclaimed with tables, overpriced croissants, playlists full of acoustic covers. The kind of place Monica only stepped into if she was trying to use their Wi-Fi without getting noticed. Now she was sitting in the corner, hard hammering, feeling like she'd stepped into someone else's life. Across from her, at a small round table by the window, sat Grant Devereaux. Exactly as composed as she remembered him. Dark coat, sharp eyes, calm hands folded around a porcelain cup of black coffee. He didn't look like a billionaire. He looked like a man who had spent too many mornings alone. "I wasn't sure you'd come," he said. "I wasn't sure I should. But you did. I still might leave." "You can," he said. "Anytime. You always talk like a therapist. Maybe I should have been one." She smirked in spite of herself. Then it went quiet. Monica stared at the table. The coffee in front of her had gone cold. She hadn't touched it. "Why me?" she asked finally. "Why my kids?" Because they looked like they were trying to survive in a world that never gave them a chance. "That's a lot of kids." "Yes, but they were the only ones I saw that day. And that makes us lucky?" "No," he said. "It makes me responsible." She narrowed her eyes. "That's a dangerous word, Grant. So is pride." "Excuse me. I've met a lot of people who needed help and never asked. Some died before they ever got the chance. Others spent their lives making everyone else pay for the help they never received. And you think I'm one of them?" "No. I think you're trying not to become one." The silence stretched. Then he reached into his coat and pulled out a folded envelope. Set it on the table. Didn't push it toward her. Didn't even touch it again. "What's that?" 3 months' rent. Grocery allowance. Utilities. Everything covered." "Why would you do that?" "Because I can." "That's not a good enough reason." "Then here's a better one. Because I know how fast the ground disappears under your feet when no one offers a hand." "You think I want to be someone who needs saving?" "No. But I think you're someone who deserves the option." She stared at the envelope. Didn't touch it. Her chest felt like it was wrapped in barbed wire. "You don't get to fix us." "I'm not trying to." "Feels like it." "I'm offering you time. Space. Stability. That's easy when you have money. It's never easy to give and not expect anything back. So what do you expect?" "Nothing." "Well, I expect that you'll use it. That you'll catch your breath. That maybe, for once, you won't feel like everything is going to collapse the second you let go. That's not how real life works. Then maybe it's time someone rewrote the rules." She leaned back, ran a hand through her hair. "You ever been poor?" "I was. Once. Before my first startup hit. And then I got rich. I got comfortable. I got selfish. And then I lost my son." That made her freeze. He didn't flinch when he said it. No tears. No dramatic pause. Just a fact. "What happened?" "Flu. Complication. He had asthma. He went into a coma and didn't wake up." "I'm sorry." "I don't tell you for sympathy. I tell you because when I saw your kids, it ripped me open. I thought, if someone had helped me at the right moment, really helped, maybe Jason would still be here. That's not your fault. It's not. But it's my responsibility not to let someone else go through it alone." For the first time since they'd sat down, Monica looked directly at him. "You want to fix something," she said. "You think if you help us, maybe it'll heal whatever's still broken inside you." "Maybe. That's not charity. That's guilt. Call it what you want. You still get a warm home and full fridge. You're not afraid I'll take advantage of you?" "Not really." "Why not?" "Because desperate people don't scam, they survive." She stood up, grabbed the envelope. "I'll think about it. That's all I'm asking. But if you ever make me feel like I'm a project or a burden, you'll disappear." "Exactly." He nodded. "Fair enough." As she walked out into the cold, the envelope heavy in her pocket, she felt something she hadn't in years: control, but also fear. Because this time, if she fell, someone would see. 2 weeks after the coffee shop, Monica moved into the apartment. Not just any apartment. This one had heat that actually worked, a dishwasher that didn't groan like a dying cat, and a view that didn't include the alley dumpster. It wasn't luxury, but to Monica and the boys, it felt like a palace. And the craziest part? Grant didn't even ask for a thank you. "This is temporary," she told Eli and Noah as they carried in the last of their bags. "We're not staying here forever. It's just for now." "Okay," Eli said, but he was already staring at the working stove like it was a spaceship. "Do we have hot water?" Noah shouted from the bathroom. "Yes, but don't use it all. It's so hot." Monica sat down on the floor and let herself laugh. It felt strange, but good. That night, Grant came by with a few groceries. Nothing over the top. No drama. Just basics. Monica didn't let him inside at first. "I don't want my boys getting used to men coming around." "Fair," he said, handing her the bags. "I'll stay out here." "You always this polite?" "Only when I'm nervous." That surprised her. "You? Nervous? This matters." That shut her up. She took the bags. A few days later, he invited them all out for dinner, cheap pizza at a place with checkered tablecloths and the smell of garlic you could wear home. The boys adored him. Eli grilled him about stocks and investing like he was prepping for Shark Tank. Noah asked if rich people really had gold toilets. Grant laughed so hard he choked on his soda. Monica watched it all with a quiet unease. What? Grant asked when he caught her staring. I'm trying to figure out if this is real. What would make it real? Time. And no sudden asks. Fair enough. But it didn't last. Because it never does. 1 week later, Monica opened the door and found a man in a tailored gray coat standing outside with a fake smile and dead eyes. You must be Monica. Who's asking? Spencer Devereaux. Grant's brother. Her stomach twisted. He's not here. I know. I wanted to meet the woman who's turned my brother into a charity case. She narrowed her eyes. You came all the way here to insult me? No. I came to warn you. About what? About how this ends. See, Grant's been doing this for years. Finds someone broken, plays savior, then ruins them the second they step out of line. You don't know me. I know desperation. I can smell it. Monica's jaw clenched. Get off my porch. Don't say I didn't try. He walked away like a man who thought he just won. She slammed the door, locked every bolt, then paced. Furious. Confused. Scared. When Grant called that night, she answered on the first ring. What the hell is wrong with your brother? What? He came to my door. Called me a charity case. Said you do this all the time. Silence. Then, I'm sorry. Is it true that he's an arrogant parasite? Yes. Don't deflect. Have you done this before? No. Not like this. What does that mean? It means I've given. I've donated. But I've never cared like this. Cared about what happens after the check clears. Monica said nothing. Monica, I'm not trying to control you. Then why do I feel like I'm being watched? Because my brother wants you to feel that way. He hates that I'm not like him. He hates that I care. Why would he lie? Because he doesn't understand doing something without a return. Later that night, she sat on the new couch in the new apartment, watching her boys eat popcorn in front of a movie that didn't buffer every 3 minutes. She looked around the room and realized something terrifying. She was starting to like this life. Not just tolerate it. Like it. And that meant she could lose it. The next morning, a letter arrived. No stamp. Just slid under the door. Inside was a single sentence. Ask him why his last assistant moved cities. That was it. No name. No threat. But Monica felt her heart sink. When Grant arrived later with a box of cereal Noah liked, she met him outside. Why did your assistant leave? He blinked. What? I got a note. You think I hurt her? I don't know what to think. She moved because her mother got cancer. She needed to be closer to family. I paid for her relocation. You can call her. Why didn't you tell me? Because I didn't think it mattered. It does now. They stood there in silence. Two people carrying too many questions. Finally, Monica exhaled. I want to trust you. Then let me earn it. It started with a knock. Not loud. Not frantic. Just 3 sharp taps at the door, the kind that say, I'm here for business, not courtesy. Monica was in the kitchen. The boys were building a blanket fort in the living room, laughing over who would be king of the couch. She peeked through the peephole. 2 strangers in dark coats. Clipboards. ID badges. And just like that, her stomach dropped. Mrs. Carter? One of them asked when she opened the door a crack. Yes. I'm Amanda Hill. This is Officer Jensen. We're with Child Protective Services in the Chicago Police Department. We received an anonymous report. She froze. A report. Do you mind if we come in? I absolutely mind. You have every right to refuse, ma'am. But I'd like to talk to you about Eli and Noah. Behind her, Noah's voice rang out. Mom, can I have more popcorn? Amanda smiled. We'll be brief. Monica's pulse thundered in her ears. Let me get their coats. No need. This is just a conversation. Unless there's something you'd rather not show us. She let them in. She had nothing to hide except the boiling panic rising in her throat. They asked the usual questions. Where was she working? Who paid the rent? Were the boys in school? When she mentioned Grant's help, Amanda's pin didn't stop moving. You live here free of charge? Yes. But only temporarily. Who is the man providing this housing? His name is Grant Devereaux. That made the officer pause. You mean the billionaire? He's a person, too. How did you meet him? He helped my boys in a park. It wasn't planned. We didn't ask. Do you have a formal agreement with him? No. Just a roof and some groceries. That's all. Amanda glanced at Officer Jensen, then back to Monica. I need to be honest with you. Anonymous reports are often baseless. But this one came with photos. Monica's face went pale. What kind of photos? Your children walking through Lincoln Park alone. carrying what looked like a plastic box. They were trying to sell a toy. For my medicine. Because I was sick. They're minors. And I'm a single mother doing everything I can to keep them warm and breathing. It got quiet. Eli peeked around the corner. His face dropped when he saw the uniforms. Mom. It's okay, baby, she said quickly. Just talking. Amanda stood. We're not removing them today. But I need to make something very clear. You're under review now. If we see signs of instability, endangerment, or exploitation, there will be consequences. Are you kidding me? I'm not. She handed Monica a card. Expect a follow-up. They left. The door clicked shut behind them like the lid of a coffin. Monica collapsed into the kitchen chair. Her hands trembled as she texted Grant. We need to talk. Now. 10 minutes later, he called. What happened? CPS was here. What? They got an anonymous tip. Pictures. Of the boys. Jesus. Are they okay? No, Grant. They're terrified. And now they're watching me like I might disappear too. I swear I had nothing to do with this. Are you sure? What? Are you sure someone from your world didn't do this? Maybe that brother of yours? Maybe someone who thinks I'm ruining your reputation. I'll look into it. But Monica, I would never let anyone take them. You might not have a choice. Yes, I do. We both do. The next day, Monica got a call from an unknown number. She didn't answer. It called again. Then again. Finally, she picked up. This is Monica. You're in over your head. Click. She didn't sleep that night. Instead, she sat in the boys' room, watching them breathe, wondering how fast she could pack if someone showed up with a court order. The next morning, she met Grant in a parking lot behind a closed diner. Paranoia? Maybe. But she wasn't taking chances anymore. I need to know the truth, she said. Is someone watching us? Yes, he said. Who? My brother. And maybe others. People in my world love dirt. They see kindness as weakness and privacy as a challenge. So we're targets now. No. You're protected. You sure about that? CPS knocking, mystery threats, photos of my boys online? I'm fixing it. Fix it faster. He looked tired. Really tired. You think I don't care? I don't know what to think. Then let me show you. How? Let me make this official. Let me help you get full legal protection. Let me get lawyers involved. That makes it worse. No. It makes it real. It makes you harder to touch. She didn't answer. Please, Monica. Trust me with this. If I do, and it backfires, then you can walk away. With every cent, every document, every ounce of your freedom. She looked at him, then at her phone, at the boys' photos on the lock screen. Okay, she whispered. Let's fight back. It took 6 weeks to prepare everything. Legal paperwork, background checks, character affidavits, a security review of Grant's property, statements from teachers, doctors, even the building superintendent. Every inch of Monica's life and her boys was laid bare on cold office tables under fluorescent lights. Grant paid for everything, but he never spoke for her. You sure about this? He asked before the first court hearing. Not even close, she replied. But I'm more sure than I've ever been about surviving. Good. That's enough. The courtroom wasn't big, but the silence inside it felt enormous. The CPS report was reviewed. The anonymous tip was mentioned, then immediately challenged. Grant's lawyer produced a forensic trace on the original submission. It led back to a corporate server owned by Devereux Financial Group. Grant didn't flinch when the judge raised an eyebrow. Your brother tried to sabotage a custody hearing? Yes, Your Honor. He believed my assistance endangered my reputation. He wanted me to stop supporting the Carter family. And you didn't? No. I increased it. The judge turned to Monica. Do you feel pressured by Mr. Devereux? No. I feel seen. Do you rely on his support financially? Yes. But not emotionally. And not blindly. I keep control of my choices. Do your children know the arrangement? They know they're safe. That's all they need to know right now. In the end, the judge issued a ruling that surprised even Monica. I see no cause for concern. This court finds that the anonymous tip was malicious and unfounded. Custody remains fully with Ms. Carter. But then he added, however, due to ongoing harassment, this court will authorize a temporary protection order against Spencer Devereux. Further violation may result in criminal charges. Outside, Grant stood quietly as she walked out. She didn't speak at first. Then she looked at him, hard. You let me stand alone in there. You didn't need me to hold your hand. No, I didn't, but I would have. Back at the apartment, the boys had made a sign out of printer paper and markers. You win MOM. Monica laughed until she cried. The next few weeks passed like a slow exhale. She started working again, part-time, at first. Grant's legal team helped her settle an old eviction record that had been haunting her background checks for years. Eli started tutoring other kids in math. Noah joined a local soccer league. They had a schedule, a life, a rhythm. And for the first time in a decade, Monica felt something almost impossible to name. Freedom. One night, Grant came by with takeout. Just the four of them, plastic forks, and too much sweet and sour chicken. After dinner, the boys ran off to play video games. Grant and Monica sat on the balcony. What happens now? She asked. Whatever you want to happen. You ever think about this being permanent? You mean you, me, and the boys? Yeah. He paused. I used to think I had to earn a family with money. That if I gave enough, I'd be worthy. And now I know the only thing that makes you worthy is showing up. Staying. She leaned back. You stayed. So did you. They didn't kiss that night. No fairy tale, no strings. Just warmth. Respect. The quiet, steady beginning of something real. Later, when Monica tucked Noah into bed, he whispered, Are we gonna have to move again? No, she said, stroking his hair. Not unless we want to. Is Grant our new dad? She smiled. He's someone who showed up when we needed him most. That's kinda like a dad. Yeah, it kinda is. She sat on the couch alone after they fell asleep, looking out at the streetlights blinking against the sidewalk. So much had changed. But one thing hadn't. She had survived. Not because someone saved her, but because when help showed up, she was brave enough to take it and turn it into something more. They always say single moms are strong, but no one tells you strength doesn't mean doing everything alone. Sometimes it means letting someone carry a little of your load. Sometimes it means saying, I need help. And sometimes it means fighting like hell to protect the help when the world tries to rip it from your hands. I wasn't rescued. I wasn't adopted. I wasn't bought. I was partnered by someone who chose me, not out of pity, but respect. And that changed everything. Would you ever accept help from a stranger if it meant saving your family? What would you do if the one person who helped you got targeted for it? Subscribe if you believe real strength is knowing when to fight and when to let someone fight with you. Share this story with someone who's ever had to start over with nothing.